Hello and welcome to the Diary of a Pan-African Preacher. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. What would a Trump win mean for Africa in the forthcoming United States presidential elections? We don't have to guess. We've been this way before. The clarion call of the former President Donald Trump and the Republican Party has been America first. What does this mean for Africa? It's 55 countries. It's 1.4 billion population. Africa will need to be more robust in defense of its citizens abroad and at home. There are 5 areas for which Africa's interests will be tried and tested by a Republican administration. 1. Immigration. 2. Trade protection. 3. Environmental protection. 4. Multilateral organizing and peacemaking. And the 5th, foreign direct investment. Let us be clear, these issues will impact millions of African lives and livelihood on the continent of Africa and in its diaspora. The United States of America has one of the largest economies in the world and is a major player at the forefront of other geopolitical and military forces. So America First is not just a political platitude for a domestic audience. It is also an articulation of a foreign policy directive that includes Africa. America First is not inclusive of all American residents and citizens. It was designed to bring benefit or prosperity to It was not designed, to bring benefit or prosperity to African Americans, Nigerian Americans, Haitian Americans, or Caribbean Americans. The previous Trump administration and its Republican political gurus have systematically defaulted on upholding the political rights of people of color in America. They have pushed back on many of the Obama administration laws and have reversed several of the equality, diversity, and inclusion programs. It, therefore, does not require any stretch of the imagination or even biblical prophetic foresight to conclude that if you don't love the African brother and sister who you can see, how will you love those you cannot see? In the advent of a Republican win in the next few days, Africa will need to become more robust in its defense of its citizens at home and abroad. In his re-election speeches, Donald Trump vows to continue with the America First program, implement tougher immigration laws, cut direct foreign aid, and punish African countries that do not hold to his views. We can expect America to use bullying tactics to buy or to force African policymakers to comply with America's interests and values. The United States of America will withdraw their support for multinational organizations like the United Nations and the World Health Organization, and many of which facilitate direct aid and humanitarian assistance to African countries. It is true, however, to say that Africa is not in the same place as it was in the first iteration of a Trump presidency. Africa's strategic significance has grown, while the United States' relative influence on the continent has declined. Africa has the minerals, energy, diplomatic, and human resources that America needs. Its challenge the challenge to Africa and its leadership is to ensure that it has the political and ethical will and fortitude required to equip its people for national, continental, and international leadership. African governments and organizations will have to develop strategies that emphasize their unity. Strategies that unite in collaborating towards goals of building upon its strengths and addressing intentionally its weaknesses. Its interests and that of its growing and youthful population will be best served by engaging in partnerships that are mutually beneficial and lead towards greater political and financial autonomy and accountability.